Well, hello, you are hiking with Jenny on the Appalachian Trail. Today is day 161. I just got dropped off at the Route 4 trailhead by Camp 43. Had a nice day there. So Camp 43 is a brand new hostel. Hikers sleep in their barn, and there's currently just capacity for 4 people, so it's actually pretty nice because you don't have to fight so much for a bathroom or anything like that. It's like perfect. One downside, it wasn't air conditioned, so it was pretty warm in there last night. I basically just slept with a sheet on. But it was okay. My goal for today is to make it up and over the Saddlebacks. This seems to be the last, or maybe one of the last alpine zones that you kind of walk through, like a exposed ridgeline. And I want to make it back below tree line before the weather starts around noon. So I'm going to try and make some good time getting up there because I don't want to get caught in a potential thunderstorm up on an exposed ridge. My goal for today is to make it 10 miles because that's where there's a shelter that's after the Saddlebacks that is a potential camping option. But if I'm feeling good at that point, I might even push farther. I don't have a tight schedule for this next section. I have 3 hiking days to make it to the main Roadhouse hostel where I have a reservation, and it's only 32 miles. So even if I do 10 miles a day, I should be all right. It's just that if I do extra, then I guess it just makes my last day shorter, which is nice because then that would be more time at the hostel. But also in this section, there are some optional 4,000 foot peaks that I could do. None of them are today, but in the next days there might be. And I'm thinking about doing them. I don't know how, it's going to depend how I feel. You've heard me talk about the 48 4,000 footers in New Hampshire. Well, there's 14 4,000 footers in Maine. And if you do all the 48 in New Hampshire, all the 14 in Maine, and the 5 that are in Vermont, it's called the New England 67. And that is a list that is it's been on the back burner for a while, but would eventually like to finish that one as well. So I've already got Vermont, and I have all but 2 of the New Hampshire peaks, and I've only done 2 of the Maine peaks. So the other 12 of those are still on my list, and most of them you hit on the AT, but some of them are kind of long side trails. So we'll have to just see how I'm doing at that time, but would like to do it. So when Camp 43 picks you up, they greet you with a homemade whoopie pie and a can of Coke. And I saved mine for today, thinking I would enjoy it during my lunch break. Well, I was about to climb up to Saddleback, and I was thinking, no, I need to drink that now because that's what's going to power me through this climb. Because I was looking at it, and it's 1,500 feet up over 2 miles, which isn't the steepest thing that we've done, but it's also substantial. So I was thinking, I could really use that caffeine boost to power me through. So I ended up taking a lengthy snack break before the climb just to try and get fueled up for it. So hopefully that'll make this climb go a little smoother. We'll get through it. I haven't heard anything real bad about this climb, so I'm sure it'll be pretty typical. I've reached tree line, still climbing. Trail's pretty steep, but it's not like rough. It's well, I mean, you know, it's like this. So it's not difficult to walk on. It's just steep. Whew. Doing good though. Feeling good. A little bit worried about the weather, but I haven't heard any thunder. There hasn't been any rain yet, so I'm going to keep going. Wow. This is the look back view on the way up. See all the little lakes everywhere. Pretty. Guess we're going to get some kind of view up there. I'm almost there, and I ran into a ridge runner who kind of told me about like places I could hunker down if the weather gets bad, and a little bit about how Baxter works if you're through hiking. So I've got some things to figure out for that, because I don't know where I'm going to be staying when I get there, and how it's going to work with Brian. So I've got to do some research about that and maybe try and reserve something for someday, which means I'm probably going to need to plan out the rest of this trip to figure out when the heck I'm actually going to summit. So lots to figure out. Maybe I'll have time when I'm staying at my next hostel. This is number 54 out of 67. That's where we're going.
We're going to take some for the next couple days.
That's where we came from. The ridge runner called this the Franconia Ridge of Maine, and I think that's pretty accurate. So we're about to head up to the Horn next. I think it said 1.7 miles. This just happened. Clouds rolling in. It's kind of cool. It's like half clouded in, half not. Walking into the mist. I checked the weather on top of Saddleback, and it looked like it was going to be fine until 3 now, but I've been hearing thunder more recently. So if it picks up, the ridge runner said there was a place I could get to hunker down between the summits. So I'll have to get there and see what the situation's like at that point. There's a place here you could hunker down if you needed to, but the thunder still sounds like it's far away. So I think I'm going to keep going. I don't think I have that much further of being above tree line anyway. Well, That's where we came from. I don't know if you can see those people coming down. Oh, pretty nice. No sign of rain or lightning yet. We're almost at the top, I think. Or maybe that's it. That might be it. It's not that much farther though. The horn! And I'm the only one on top of this one. Got a little bit of a view, but mostly socked in. So this is number 55 out of 67 for me. Alright, just took a little snack break and now I'm headed down to tree line. So I've been thinking, you know, weighing how I feel and what time it is and everything. And it's 2:15. The place I originally planned to camp, like minimally, is only in 3 miles. And I think I can go farther than that today. So I think I'm going to go an additional 3 miles after that. So it's going to be a total of 6 to a stealth site with a swimming hole. Because I just like the swimming hole stealth sites, you know, so you can rinse off after a day of sweating in the heat and everything. So I think it'll be nice to go there. The shelter that I was originally planning didn't sound like it had a lot of space for tenting. So I think this will be better anyway. And it's not going to involve like any additional big climbs or anything like that. It'll put me at the bottom of the next big climb, which I'll do tomorrow first thing in the morning. So that's actually pretty ideal. That would put me at 13 miles for the day, which is sort of what I've been aiming for, 12 to 13, kind of just to keep me more or less on track. So I think that sounds like a good plan. Hopefully the weather holds out or isn't too bad hiking down there, but at least we'll be below tree line. This is sort of what we were talking about last night. The part that was popular with day hikers was nice and well maintained, but then as soon as you drop off of it and just regular old AT again, it is not really well maintained. This is all grown in. I've been hearing some closer thunder and it has started sprinkling, so I might need to hunker down before I climb up the next peak. I'm still oh, here it comes, poncho time. So anyways, making my way down the horn still, almost to the bottom. I just set up my tarp at this campsite that was at the bottom of Horn, and I'm just sitting under my tarp trying to wait out the worst of the rain. Well, it's been about a half an hour and the sun is out again. I can still hear some low rumblings of thunder in the background. The rain has slowed considerably. I think I'm going to wait a little bit longer and then I'm going to pack up and continue hiking. The only reason I'm waiting is because I know I have to climb up another semi-exposed peak. And I don't want to risk potentially getting caught in the storm up there, so just want to make sure. Alright, I am reasonably sure that the storm has passed. Still got the poncho on, mainly for warmth, because I got a little cold when I got wet. It's 4 o'clock, so I'm still like 5 miles away from that cool place that I thought I would camp at. So I don't know if I'm going to make it there or not. It depends what the terrain is like. But I can at least push on to that shelter that I had originally planned to camp at. So I got to go up and over Saddleback Junior, which doesn't look like too big of a climb. It's like, I think maybe like 500 feet. Looks pretty short too. So I got to get up and over that, down to the shelter. The heavy rain we just had made the trail extra muddy. Holy cow. I think that's where we just came from. And we are above the clouds. That is so cool. Wow. This is the summit of Saddleback Junior. Elevation 3640. And wow, another great view up here. Oh my gosh. This one's 360. Whoa. That is amazing. I think I might have to sit here for a minute. It's 5:12 and the shelter's a 1.5 miles away, so that's about right. That'll probably put me around 6:30 arriving. Well, it's 8:30 and I'm finally in my hammock. I got to the shelter and these guys had a fire going, so I sat by the fire, made my dinner, dried my socks out most of the way, so that's really nice. I at least, even if my shoes are wet tomorrow, I'm putting on mostly dry socks, so that'll help. So I kind of set up in a tent site up the trail from the shelter, and it's pretty windy up here, but I'm actually kind of happy about it because it means that it's going to be cooler tonight, and it might dry out some of my stuff. I put my tarp up. There's like a 30% chance of rain tonight, but I figured if nothing else, it'll help dry out my tarp so that it doesn't weigh as much tomorrow. Weird weather day today. We're having some weird weather here in New England, and it kind of impacted my plans today, but that's okay. I'm glad that I played it safe and didn't keep hiking in the thunderstorm. That wouldn't have been a good idea up on that exposed mountain peak. And I stayed more or less dry other than my feet that way, so that was good. So I'm just gonna finally get to relax, hopefully get some good sleep tonight. I don't know how many miles I'll do tomorrow. There's a bunch of 4,000 footers. Some of them are optional, and I'm thinking about doing them, but we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what the weather does. If it's going to be like today, probably not going to do them all, but if it's better, I might. We'll see. Thank you for watching and happy trails.